GarageBand gives you a complete podcasting studio. To get started, choose Podcast from the New Project dialog. Enter a name for your podcast, click the Create button, and GarageBand opens with a new empty podcast project. To start recording your narration, click one of the vocal tracks, and then click the Record button and start talking. You can use your computer's built-in microphone or any other mic connected to your computer.
Welcome to the California Travel Podcast. This episode is all about my recent trip to Lake Tahoe.
After you record the basic narration, you can quickly add jingles, background music, and other sounds from the Loop browser. Select Jingles in the browser, and then pick a musical genre that fits your podcast. It's easy to preview loops by simply clicking them. Once you find one that you want to use, just drag it to the Jingles track or to the empty area at the bottom of the timeline. Adding artwork to your podcast is easy too. Select the podcast track and click the Media Browser button, which gives you access to your iPhoto library. Drag the image that you want to use from the browser to the episode artwork box. This is the photo that your audience will see when they download your podcast and when they listen to it. If you want to show them other photos in different parts of the podcast, all you have to do is drag in other images and drop them in the podcast track where you want them to start. The photos will also act as chapters in your podcast. You can easily add titles by clicking in the chapter title column in the podcast track editor. You can also add a link to a website for each chapter. First, type in the URL title, what your audience will see, and then enter the actual link in the URL box. The last thing to do is to review your podcast and make sure it looks and sounds exactly how you want it.
Welcome to the California Travel Podcast. This episode is all about my recent trip to Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is the largest alpine lake in North America, nestled in the Sierra Nevada mountains along the border between California.
Once you're happy, click the Share menu, where you can send it to your iTunes library, iWeb to publish on the internet, or save it as a file.